They say that all the money in the world won't make up for the pain caused by the loss of a loved one. Surely this person I will tell you about in this video will agree with that, and they have a fortune of about $30 billion. Can you guess who I'm talking about? Well, get comfortable, because in this video I will tell you the story about how Elon Musk went from being bullied to becoming one of the richest men on the planet. Believe me, you don't want to miss it because his life was full of obstacles, million-dollar lawsuits, and irreplaceable losses. By the way, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Curiosips and don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this video. Now let's begin. Elon Musk, who was born in Pretoria, South Africa on June 28, 1971, is a clear example that when you want to achieve something and you have clear goals in life, you can get there. Of course, you may say, oh yes, because surely he was born into privilege. But nope, not in this case. Elon Reeve Musk is one of the three children of May Musk, a gorgeous Canadian model, and Errol Musk, a South African engineer. The couple had two boys, Elon and his brother Kimball, and a girl, Tosca. Unfortunately, the parents got divorced when Elon was 10 years old, but I'll tell you about that in a moment. Before we move on to the saddest part of Elon Musk's life as a kid, it's worth mentioning the positive things. In his childhood, Elon loved to read and was really into inventions. From an early age, he proved to be extremely intelligent and creative. In addition, it seems like he already had the spirit of an entrepreneur. It turns out that, while he still lived in South Africa, he, his brother Kimball, and some of his cousins went door to door selling chocolate Easter eggs in rich neighborhoods. The eggs were 20 times more expensive than it cost the kids to produce. In a 2017 CNBC interview, Kimball mentioned that when people asked him why the eggs were so expensive, he replied that it's because it was a way to support a young capitalist, and he knew that those people could afford $10. So these kids were really just scamming rich people. As a very creative child, Elon often daydreamed about inventions, and he had a lot of time for that because, due to his parents' work, he and his siblings stayed with a babysitter. Although, as he said, taking care of them was not exactly what she was doing, but rather she made sure that the kids weren't going to destroy the house. Quite literally. After all, young Elon had already been able to make prototypes of rockets, so you can imagine what babysitting him must have been like. It sounds like a real-life episode of Dexter's Laboratory. Well, Elon spent so much time with his books and in his own world that his parents took him to the doctor thinking that maybe he suffered from some type of disorder. And this wasn't the case because the boy simply was a genius. In fact, after his parents got divorced, Elon developed an interest in computer programming. He liked it so much that when he was 12 years old, he not only created his own video game called Blastar, but he even sold it for $500 and had plans to open his own video game business with one of his cousins. Remember that we're talking about the early 80s and a 12-year-old boy, so that was just a dream. But, well, with what he currently has in his pocket, his plans worked out. Now we unfortunately have reached the not-so-positive part of his adolescence. Elon was a fan of Dungeons & Dragons, Lord of the Rings, and as a rumor says, he apparently even read the complete Encyclopedia Britannica when he was only 9 years old. And because kids can be very cruel, all of that made him an easy target for the school bullies, who abused him until he was 15 years old. And this was really serious because, according to some stories, when he already was an adult, Elon decided to have surgery on his nose to correct the damage that one bullying incident caused. You would never have imagined that the ghosts of that stage were going to come back sometime later when he would be a millionaire. Eventually, when Elon was 17 years old, he learned karate and other self-defense techniques, and emigrated with his mother and siblings, first to Canada and then to the United States. When they arrived at their new home, the Musks didn't have an easy time. Mom May had to work up to 5 jobs at once, and young Elon had to try and survive with $1 a day. When one time Mrs. May was asked how she managed to raise 3 kids alone, she replied that she did it just like her parents when she was little, who asked her to help them with the household expenses. So she raised her children to be good, hard-working people, and at the same time, she gave them space to pursue their dreams. Then the 90s arrived, and that's when Elon Musk went to university. The billionaire studied physics, business, and economics at the University of Pennsylvania. When he graduated, he wanted to get another degree at the University of California. But at the time, this was when the internet boom took place in the United States, so Elon's creativity took advantage of the moment, and in 1995 he launched Zip2, his first company. What happened next? In 1999, the entrepreneur founded X.com, which years later became PayPal. Once Musk obtained U.S. citizenship in 2002, he created SpaceX, and a year later in 2003, Tesla Motors. But perhaps the biggest success was the one that came in 2012, when his company SpaceX launched the first non-governmental rocket that was sent to the International Space Station. And then, when in 2016 he added SolarCity, the second biggest provider of solar power systems in the US, to his list of companies, Elon did nothing but consolidate himself as one of the most successful and powerful businessmen on the planet. And why not say it, in modern history. With such a number of achievements, it doesn't surprise me that throughout his life, Elon had been surrounded by beautiful and equally successful women. And this is where the positive story turns dark again. In the year 2000, Elon got married for the first time to Justine Wilson. In 2002, the couple welcomed their first son, Nevada Alexander. But to the heartbreak of his parents, the baby died at the age of 10 weeks. The cause of death was determined to be sudden infant death syndrome. Despite how advanced medicine is, the cause of SIDS still hasn't been determined. In general, it occurs when a baby of less than 1 year of age is sleeping. However, even though the factors that can cause the death are still unknown, doctors recommend removing any objects that could cause suffocation, as well as putting the newborn on their back to sleep or in a position that will allow them to breathe properly. As expected, Elon was completely devastated, and somehow because of the difficult childhood he had, the old demons returned. But years later, life gave the parents what it took from them. Well, in 2004, they had twins, Griffin and Xavier, and 2 years later in 2006, triplets, Kai, Saxon, and Damien. Unfortunately, in 2008, 2 years after their 3 youngest children were born, Elon and Justine decided to divorce. Soon after, the businessmen met and started dating actress Tallulah Riley, and they got married for the first time in 2010. And I said for the first time because they divorced in 2012 only to get married again a year later. But what didn't work out once, didn't work out again. So in 2016, Elon and Tallulah ended their second marriage. Since then, Elon has been dating actresses and singers, some more beautiful than others. In 2016, he was linked to the ex-wife of Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. And yes, this story also went back and forth. They decided to end their relationship in August 2017, but they were back together in January 2018, only to announce that they had split up a month later. Geez guys, they barely lasted a month. Or could it be that Elon had already had his eyes on someone else? We say it because in May 2018, just a few months after he ended his relationship with Amber, Elon started dating the Canadian singer Grimes. By the way, her fans didn't forgive her going against her stance as a feminist. According to them, it was unacceptable that their idol was dating a wealthy owner of a company unfortunately infamous for its treatment of its workers. Although, well, it seems that Grimes completely ignored those comments because recently it's been rumored that she and Elon are waiting for their first baby together, and the 6th of the entrepreneur. But we already have a video about that, so check it out. But whether he's waiting for a new family member or not, Elon devotes the much-needed quality time to the 5 children he already has. He often shares pictures in which they can be seen enjoying various family activities, and like every dad who's proud of his kids, he also lets his fans see how talented they are. Not long ago, for example, Elon shared a video of one of his children playing the piano in a nursing home in Pasadena. Although Elon didn't specify which of his 5 children it was, you can see a few elderly people delighted by Arabesque by Claude Debussy, masterfully interpreted by the boy. All this is not a coincidence, because ever since they were very young, the heirs of one of the very biggest fortunes in the world had studied at the prestigious Merman School in Los Angeles, which is an institute for gifted children. But in 2014, Elon decided that it was time to open his own school, Ad Astra. He pulled his sons from the LA school and hired Joshua Dunn, a teacher from Merman who taught the Little Musks before. In this new school, the privileged students take courses in science, mathematics, engineering, robotics, and artificial intelligence. Of course, with a curriculum like that, I'm not surprised that everything in the institute is quite innovative. Just to give you an example, there are no grade levels, and the admission process is a secret. But you're out of luck if you've already started counting your money to enroll your kid there. Even though the calls for the 2019-2020 school year were open some time ago on the official site of the institute, the school allegedly reserves the right of admission to children of SpaceX and Tesla employees and families recommended by them. Okay, I've heard about selection according to grades and aptitudes, but this is something else. No, but seriously, he definitely does it with good intentions. And if we're talking about his good intentions, some time ago, Elon decided to start the Musk Foundation, which focuses on providing solar power energy systems in disaster areas. What's more, in October 2019, Musk donated $1 million to the hashtag Team Trees campaign, which is a tree planting initiative that intends to plant 20 million trees worldwide this year. Who would have thought that Elon Musk is so committed to helping the world? Did you know about the difficulties Elon had to face when he was a child? What do you think of Elon Musk as an entrepreneur and as a person? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with Curiosips. And leave a thumbs up and share the video with your friends. Until next time.